This video we're about to react to is Patrick CC, and it is the leaked phone call that destroyed Papa John's life. Now, I still eat Papa John's pizza. I'm not even gonna cap. There's something about that racism in the pizza that makes you just finger licking fucking good, man. But I haven't like gone into the stuff that happened. You hear about it all the time with Papa John's racist. He couldn't stop saying the N-word. He said it was the hardest thing for him to do was take the N-word out of his vocabulary. So let's actually let's see what's going on. I actually considered getting some pizza tonight, but then I was like, nah, I feel healthy. I just did this shit, so it was a vegan / fruit juice night. Either way it goes, let's go ahead and get into this reaction, man.
John Schnatter was once the trusted, smiling face of a multi-billion-dollar pizza empire, but one leaked phone call of him using a racial slur destroyed his company and reputation forever, and his response to the backlash could not have been worse, claiming that he spent nearly 2 years in a sort of racist rehab to stop himself from saying the slur.
Nigga, 2 years in a racist rehab?
And we've had 3 goals for the last 20 months to get rid of this N-word in my vocabulary and dictionary and everything else.
And although this could be one of the worst ways to address a controversy in history, and there is no excuse for using a slur, John constantly tried to convince the world that this was all a calculated setup by people who wanted him exiled from his company. And when you hear the full story, he might not seem that crazy. There are even a small number of OG Papa John's fans who think he is innocent and are campaigning to reinstate him as CEO. One thing everyone agrees on is that the pizza quality was much better when he was still in charge, because today they have seemingly abandoned their promise to make better pizza with better ingredients. Today we are going to assess the crash and burn of John Schnatter's career.
Hey, once Shaq got in, became the CEO and shit like that. Hey, man, you see Shaq everywhere now, bro. Like, you see him, bro. First Papa John's, then the fucking cruise lines, Carnival Cruise. Where else do you see him? You got homes and shit. He's got his own fucking restaurant on Carnival. And then what else? Like, he be doing shit for hotels.com. Bruh, Shaq is fucking everywhere,
reputation to determine if it was all a calculated setup. John Schnatter quickly developed a reputation for being a ruthless, no-nonsense businessman, but to compete with giants like Domino's, Pizza Hut, and Little Caesars, you aren't necessarily going to thrive by being a nice guy. Ironically, his persona to the public was the happy-go-lucky, trustworthy spokesman for the company, which created a difficult-to-manage dynamic between who he actually was and who the public thought he was. John proved his entrepreneurial skills when he saved his father's business from going bankrupt. Mick's Lounge in Jeffersonville, Indiana was a local tavern that was desperately in need of a new business strategy in the early 80s, so John took over.
We cleaned the pool tables up, we cleaned the food up, we put handsome bartenders behind the bar. We had a euchre tournament on Thursday, we had a little Kings night on Tuesday, we had a pool tournament on Sunday. Just from the promotion to the food to, we were doing like $2,000 a week.
No, I want y'all to admire his drip right now, right? I want y'all to look at this. This man got a Papa John's neck sweater. Sweater. I know I'm not that retarded. Turtleneck. Neck sweater. He got a Papa John's turtleneck, a Papa John's button up with the fucking blazer, and look what's on there. Look at the little button. Pretty sure that's Papa John's. Yo, this motherfucking stylist. I wouldn't be mad if he called me a nigga.
Within 3 months, we were doing $10,000 a week. and doing $1,000 a week in pool table revenue.
And while John has said that fixing the bar was a dream, he actually hated the idea of running bars for a career. I didn't like the bar business. I didn't like all the fights, all the cussing, the drinking, but I loved running the business.
Very ironic he didn't like all the cussing. Very ironic. It was hard to get the N-word out of my vocabulary. It took 2 years. Had to go to a racist, what the fuck they call it? A racist addiction center.
Business. John's real obsession was pizza. He fell in love with it while
Imagine
working
going
as
to
a
a racism
dishwasher at a
addiction center.
local restaurant called Rocky's Sub Pub.
And I was washing dishes at Rocky's, and I hated washing dishes.
Washing?
And so you weren't allowed to make pizzas.
Washing dishes. Hey, I think he might be from the Midwest. No. He might be from the East Coast. From over here. Because washing? You better go there and wash that dish.
Unless you were a Fondrisi, Joe John or Frank Fondrisi. So they got a good write-up in the scene. The thing took off. And sure enough, I got promoted from washing dishes to making pizzas, and that's when I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Schnatter brought his father's bar back from the dead, paid off the $60,000 in debts, and started making pizzas in a broom closet to sell to the customers. The customers loved the pizza, and the demand got so high that John purchased the shop directly next door and established the very first Papa John's location. John was a 21-year-old dreamer who was willing to work until he could no longer stand. He was always thinking of ways to make a better product as fast as possible for the best price. Like when he upgraded from Baker's Pride ovens that could make him $1,000 in a day to conveyor ovens that could make him $1,000 per hour without breaking a sweat. Once the first Papa John's location was earning $9,000 per week in revenue, John's confidence turned into what he even admits was borderline delusion.
I'm all pumped. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. We go down to Domino's.
John be working out. Shout out to John.
Grants Plaza. I walk in there. I'm 22 years old.
Sure.
We're doing 9,000.
Yeah.
I said, what are you doing a week? He said, we're doing 6,000 a week. And I just basically looked at the guy and I said, we're going to kick your ass in the whole world.
You
Now,
said that.
Basically.
22 years old.
How I thought with one store, because we were whooping them in Jefferson, Indiana, we were going to beat them. But I thought that way.
See,
which is
Indiana. You close to Ohio, Cincinnati type shit. Shout out to my niggas in Indiana.
John strategically stole the best parts of other great pizza chains to make Papa John's the best of them all. He liked the cheese from Mr. Gatti's Pizza. He liked the sweetness of the Greek's Pizzeria sauce, as well as how they fulfilled a large volume of orders. He studied a local bakery to learn how to get his crust perfect. And he was even an employee at Domino's to learn how to optimize the process from order to kitchen assembly line and then out the door. It was this obsessive need to make the best product possible, along with a cutthroat business attitude that allowed him to scale from one store to 5 to 10 to hundreds of locations.
I think resilience and persistency beats genius and intellect every time. Let's say you want to be a dentist. Sooner or later, there's going to be a dentist that was a dentist before you were a dentist that has made it. Well, human nature, then they start playing their golf. Then they start having their poker game on Tuesday night. Then they start closing alphas on Friday.
I'm glad we're watching this. Because it's like something, it's educational, it's learning, for like entrepreneurs and people who like want to, do their dreams and do their thing. Like, this is good for us to watch. I'm glad we're watching.
It does. It gives a young entrepreneur like you that's a striving dentist that wants to be like the other dentist, it gives you that incentive. Sooner or later, if you outwork them, you're going to take advantage of the guy on the golf course. And they all get fat and happy. And so I call it soft. The concept of sitting on the couch, eating Doritos, watching TV, or drinking beer or Cokes, what a waste of life.
Maybe the big three pizza franchises doubted that Papa John's could become a real threat, and he was comfortable with being the underdog. However, in 1993, everything changed.
That jacket
Papa
is
John's
fire.
became a publicly traded company, and after their IPO, they generated $25 million in investment capital, which was plenty of money to open thousands of locations across the United States. This is where the real takeover began. Unlike competitors who used mascots or attractive logos to promote the brand, John made himself the official spokesperson of Papa John's. He came off as humble, hardworking, and honest.
He commissioned independent taste tests. Papa John's won big time. Maybe that's because our sauce is made with fresh-packed, vine-ripened tomatoes. Pizza Hut uses remanufactured paste.
Anybody can claim to make a better pizza, but it's you, the consumer, who've decided.
The advertisements just kind of plainly said, we're better because people think we are better. It's that simple. But Pizza Hut was not happy with these comparisons. They sued Papa John's, but ultimately lost in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit, which ruled that the slogan was puffery. The court said Papa John's claims weren't literally false, and thus didn't violate advertising laws. But how much validity was there to the better ingredients slogan?
What really makes the ingredients from Papa John's better than those of the competitors? How do you really have better ingredients that make better pizza?
I think you say it this way: better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Another good question. You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. The reason our ingredients are better is because they cost more, and the reason they cost more is because they're real.
Well, it is true that none of the ingredients used were frozen, and every single pizza was made practically from scratch. Employees do everything in the store besides making the dough. The dough was hand-stretched and formed for each order. None of the produce or chicken products on a Papa John's pizza is older than 7 days in the store, all of which is kept in a 36-degree cooler. Pork and beef products spend no more than 12 days in the same cooler. So yes, you could call the pizza fresh, but that still doesn't exactly clarify the quality of the ingredients. But Papa John's strategically keeps that a secret. You see, if you look on their website, you will see a simplified version of their ingredients they believe sound clean or natural. In the US, food manufacturers can legally omit certain additives if they are considered processing aids or present.
Let's read this, y'all. The Food and Drug Administration is tasked with overseeing the safety of U.S. food supply, setting requirements for nutrition labeling, working with companies on food recalls, and responding to outbreaks of foodborne illness. But when it comes to additives already in our food and the safety of certain ingredients, FDA has taken a hands-off approach, according to a new article in the American Journal of Public Safety. Where's safety at? Public health. The current FDA process allows the food industry to regulate itself when it comes to thousands of added ingredients by determining for itself which ingredients should be considered generally recognized as safe or gross, and deciding on their own whether or not
in trace amounts. That means Papa John's could have tons of sub-ingredients like anti-caking agents, emulsifiers, stabilizers, or preservatives that they don't legally have to disclose. Melanie Warner of US News tried to investigate what makes their ingredients better. When I called Papa John's customer toll-free number, I was told that for additional information on allergen or nutritional info, I should leave a message with Connie Childs, who would return my call the next business day. I left 2 messages, but Connie never called. Public relations wasn't much help either. My emails and voicemails went unanswered. Ironically, most people seem to agree that it isn't actually the pizza that got Papa John's famous. It's their garlic sauce that you dip the crust into, which was an original recipe created at the very first store.
Man, everybody loves their garlic sauce, nigga. When it comes to my pizza, I'm very simple. Cheese, extra sauce. I don't even want no garlic sauce. Fuck that. I don't want no garlic sauce. But cheese, extra sauce.
These days, it is made with a slew of additives, mono and diglycerides, partially hydrogenated soybean oil, and the preservatives sodium benzenate and calcium disodium EDTA. So just because Papa John's used better ingredients didn't mean it was even considered remotely healthy. But Americans didn't care. By 1999, Papa John's had scored a 76 on the American Customer Satisfaction Index, above countless...
You know why Americans don't care? Because if the food is good, tastes good going down your belly, and the vibe is right, like whether you're eating it you're having like a pizza party, or you're having it do like a family game night, or just, you know, pizzas and beer and having a, you know, you're doing whatever. The vibe is right, the pizza's right, it tastes good. They ain't gonna care, bro.
Other fast food.
No one's ever said, hey, we got a party of what, 15, 20 people, let's go ahead and get a big ass thing of Wendy's. No one's ever said that. Now, people have said, hey, let's get some Domino's, let's get some. You know what's crazy? When I was in California, before I left for California, I would only eat Papa John's. I would only eat Papa John's. Papa John's is my favorite pizza ever. I did not want to eat anything else. I was loyal to Papa John's. Nigga. They gave us like some, they ordered us some pizza and it was Domino's. I ate that pizza. I said, Papa John's got some competition now. God darn it. That Domino's, hey, I be ordering Domino's more than I be ordering Papa John's. Also because Papa John's be closing late. I mean, they be closing early. Like, they be closing around like 12 and shit like that. They 12 to like 10 or 12, they be closing. Papa John's stay open late. That's why I be fucking with Domino's. I say Papa John's. Domino's be open. They be open later. That's why I be fucking with Domino's. They open until around like 1 or 2. I'm like, hell yeah. Sometimes 3. You get the right one.
Giants. Their stock price was peaking around $8 per share, had over 2,300 locations, earned over $800 million in total revenue. By all means, Papa John's was here to stay, and John Schnatter was set for life. And even though John portrayed himself as the humble hard worker, there is no doubt he was enjoying his hundreds of millions. Schnatter moved the corporate office into a luxurious new headquarters in Louisville, Kentucky. He purchased a massive piece of land and built a...
I told you. As soon as I heard Warsh, nigga, I told you he's from around here. Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky, nigga, Cincinnati, nigga. Come on.
A castle on the outskirts of Louisville, complete with what literally looks like a city built underground.
So right now we're 1 story below ground level.
Wow.
And what you could see here, it looks like a little city. This is incredible with
That
the
is
windows,
crazy.
the door, but this is the garage. This is what's so remarkable about it. It kind of reminds me of the Forum shops at the Venetian with the painted ceilings, and the garage just keeps going down. I mean, what I would do for a garage like this.
Success gave John Schnatter power, and he wasn't shy about using it. He wasn't just the boss, he was the king, and he admits that he was extremely stubborn and stern with his power.
But I'm literally like, it's my way or the highway. If you didn't do it my way, you know, it was bad. It was a benevolent dictator with an attitude.
And although John's leadership and tenacity made for groundbreaking advancements in the company, such as being the first pizza company to accept online orders in 2001, ultimately his inability to do anything other than his way led to a steady decline in the business. After profits dropped 3 years in a row, the board decided it was time for John to step down. In 2005, they replaced him with Nigel Travis, former COO of Blockbuster. But Nigel only lasted 3 years as the head of Papa John's, and Schnatter stepped back into the CEO position almost immediately. Interestingly enough, in the press release announcing Nigel's departure, they wrote, "We are pleased that John has once again agreed to lead the company, albeit on an interim basis, until we can identify a permanent replacement." It's interesting that the company seemed to want to move on.
If you're a web designer, here are 4 Wix Studio features you gotta know.
From John's leadership. But why? This is the guy who built and led the company to be worth over $1 billion. Is he not the most suitable man for the CEO position? Why did they want to replace him so badly? Because to the public, John seemed to be more in love with the company than ever. He remained the spokesperson of the company, appearing in TV commercials, advertising stunts like completing the world's highest pizza delivery in history at the top of the Sears Tower. And even throwing half-court shots in front of a sold-out Kentucky basketball stadium.
These make me want some Papa John's right now, man.
This guy did so many commercials, you would think he might actually show up to your house and personally deliver you a pizza when you ordered from your local Papa John's.
Pizza! We got pizza! I'm John with Papa John.
Oh my God!
Hey, Papa's in the house.
How about some Papa John pizza?
And since the company was thriving due to his enthusiasm and the public's adoration for Papa, one wrong move could seriously damage everything. And as social media made it harder for any controversy to stay hidden, it was only a matter of time before we would find out why the leadership wanted him to step down years ago. That moment came in 2012 when John Schnatter criticized the Affordable Care Act, better known as Obamacare. He claimed that if the law went into effect, Papa John's would be forced to raise the price of their pizza by 11 to 14 cents per pie just to cover employees' health care. On an earnings call with shareholders, John said, "We're not supportive of Obamacare, like most businesses in our industry. If Obamacare is in fact not repealed, we will find tactics to shallow out any Obamacare costs and core strategies to pass that cost onto consumers in order to protect our shareholders' best interests." Of course, Papa John didn't support free healthcare because if Americans actually had access to doctors, they might finally realize his pizza is what's sending them there in the first place.
Yeah.
The multimillionaire CEO who built his empire off blue-collar workers came off as tone-deaf, especially when he casually mentioned that franchise owners should just cut workers' hours instead of giving them health care. The controversy exploded into a massive news story.
Several people I spoke with said if it's going to cost them 3 extra cents to order a pizza so a Papa John's employee can have health insurance, they're fine with that. Others told me it's bad business.
Outrage sparked online. A viral Reddit post said, "There's plenty of places to get cheap pizza in the world. Anyone else ready to boycott Papa John's?" This was one of the first moments where the public began to see cracks in the Papa John persona. And what you will notice is that both of his next major controversies happened almost the exact same way. Keep in mind that his Obamacare comments were made during an earnings call in 2012. Earnings calls are often recorded and transcribed for transparency. These calls can be described as semi-private. They're not necessarily public-facing, but they're usually accessible to a wide range of people: investors, analysts, other employees. So if a CEO says something controversial during one of these calls, it only takes one person to share it with a journalist, blogger, or TV personality for the whole world to know about it. John couldn't help himself but let his personal politics bleed into the conversation. Obamacare was a deeply divisive topic at the time, and that's because...
So it's crazy because it's like, you know, people say you can't mix personal issues with business. It's definitely gonna be more challenging for him because he built that business from the ground up. So that's his baby, and he don't want nobody to tell him what to do with his baby that he built up. He built up to make it a multi-million-dollar, damn near $1 billion business. So it's like, this motherfucker trying to come here and tell me what to do with my shit. Like, who the fuck is he? I do what I want. Da 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 da. And you know, he got certain ways of looking at his politics. You know, John does, and it's like, since I built what I built, I'm not letting nobody else who I don't agree with, and their mindset and their political ideals, whatever they agree with, I don't care because it's my business. So, I mean, I understand why he was moving the way he's moving. Cause like, it's exactly like you build your business up, you get married when your business is already built, and then you get a divorce, and the girl wants to take half your shit. It's like, no, bitch, you didn't earn it. I built this shit from the ground up. I made all that money. You just want to take it? Fuck no. That's why people don't want to get married these days. They're scared of divorce.